The best skill to learn right now is learning how to learn. Because with that and with AI, you will be able to learn anything. Hey everyone, this is Alan, and in today's video, I want to talk about how important it is to be able to learn new things. And this is actually a foundation skill. And I got this idea of foundation skill from an article from Scott Young that I read today. And first, I want to talk about one fear that I see a lot of beginner developers having. And I see because I follow a lot of people in Brazil that work with programming, and I see a lot of beginners thinking about quitting before they even start in the area because they have this thought that AI will replace everyone in the future. And yes, I get it. It is a genuine fear, but only in my opinion it is a fear that you have only if you don't understand yet how coding with AI really works. Because for me, I wouldn't say I am really experienced because I've been coding for 2 years only, but I am able already to work with AI coding with me and for me. And this is the best time for me to be able to code because AI makes any because AI makes any project a lot faster. And in the article that I read from Scott, the name of the article is "What's Still Worth Learning in a World with AI." He says he actually brings a lot of questions. He says that a first distinction that is important to note is that tasks are automated, not jobs. So in my personal life there are already tasks that I already delegated, and but the job did not go away. I do like the work I still work with the same kind of projects that I've worked for the past the last 4 years, but now it is a lot. I have a lot of leverage because I am using AI. And I even have a fresh example from a friend of mine that I was talking with today. And I built a system for him to organize invoices from his family business. And the system was already able to get like 10 hours of work into 7 hours. So it was already a lot faster. But now we were able to connect the system with AI through API connections with Cloud Code. And now, for example, today, instead of working for the 7 previous hours, Cloud was able to organize all the files and all the data that he had to analyze. And my friend only had like 40 minutes of work making the decisions based on the data that Cloud organized. So the tasks were delegated in his case and in mine, but the job did not go away because there are still people necessary to make decisions. And in my work today, I feel like AI is like hiring a junior developer and actually a smarter one. Sometimes not actually a lot of times smarter than even me, because what I delegated to AI, for example, is writing the code, making the simpler parts, and the repetition things that will that will need to be done over and over. But I still have to keep the relationship with the client because I am a freelancer, so I work directly with the client. I still have to do the planning, the organizing, and I still have to design the systems that I build. So AI is doing part of the tasks, but the job is still mine. And actually, if you divide the work in my case, if I would divide the work into two halves, the what is left for me to do is the harder half, is the harder part of the job. And I have another part of Scott's article. Because the simpler parts of the job get automated away, what is left requires greater levels of skill. So the code can be done by AI. So I have to get better at systems design. And this is a lot harder than just completing coding tasks. It takes decision, it takes knowing how systems work, it takes studying a lot, and it's harder to understand that than to write like a simple crud. I made the decision that I need to level up on the half that is the harder one and that is left for me to do. So I recently bought a course on systems design, not because the code got harder, it actually is a lot faster and easier because AI can do it, but because the code stopped being the job. It is just a task, a part of the whole job. So I need to get better at this one that is more important for me right now. And Scott brings a really good example with plants, and I think it is different. So I decided to put in this video. And he says that in an environment of change, it's better to be the hardy dandelion than the hothouse orchid. And what is the idea behind this being the dandelion and not the orchid? If you compare these two plants, the dandelion is like one. It is a plant that will grow in almost any part of a field. I have my home as an example because we never planted this plant, but it is all over the place, and it is like strong. It survives on its own, and an orchid is so vulnerable that you have to put effort for it to survive. It's not something that really helps itself in surviving in the wild. So the idea behind this example is that the dandelion is a plant that is stronger because it has foundation skills, I would say, that may make it easier to survive. And Scott uses this example because he says that strong foundations adapt to more environments. And for me, what I want to focus on this video today is that one of the most important foundations is the ability to learn new things, to learn what you already know, but to learn deeply in a deeper way. And I also liked this idea in the article that AI is technology, and technology is nothing new under the sun when you take into account that AI is a tool. Because in this sense, learning to use AI is not so different from previous technological innovations, such as learning to use personal computers. Because AI is a tool, it does not end on itself. You learn it and you will work better, and with that you learn better. It is something that actually compounds over time. So you after you learn how to learn things and you use AI to help your learning process, it will be a lot easier and a lot faster. And that's what I call AI enhanced learning. It is learning that you take your effort because it is important, but you use AI to enhance the process to make everything better, faster, and easier. And for example, I have a really clear case, a real proof of this idea of AI enhanced learning and working with AI to enhance your tasks. Because I tried, just for context, if you don't know, I work with websites for more than 4 years already, and I tried to teach Cloud, to use Cloud to get a page that was built in Elementor into HTML. So because it would be a lot faster and lighter, so it would run better. But AI alone could not understand how Elementor structures the page and the code of the page. And I was using Opus 4.8, that was the best model at the time that I did it. But so Claude was not able to do that. But with what I knew, because I learned front end before I used AI, I was able to use my knowledge to teach Claude and to make corrections to create a skill that works. And so with this process of using my knowledge with the ability of AI to create to to complete tasks that repeat, I was able to come with a skill that works. Now the AI replicates every time that I have an Elementor page to turn it into HTML. And now I am even able to create pages using Cloud Code, but pages that are made in Elementor, because some clients like to edit the pages and it's easier for them to do that with Elementor because they already use it, and it's really hard to make people migrate from other tools. But what I want to focus is that AI just makes everything better. It enhances everything. And when I take my one of the main tasks that I used to do is that I needed to create in the past pages in Elementor, and it took hours. I would like take a half an hour into each section, and then we'll take into account a page that has 10 sections. It would take a lot of time. It would take hours. But now with AI, it is under 30 minutes, and sometimes a lot faster than that. I was really, really, I was not exaggerating at all in this example. So the point that I want you to understand today is that you need to learn how to learn. It is one of the best skills, and in this video, I'm calling it the main skill in a time of fast changes. So, being able to learn right now is a foundation skill. And if you want to understand more about this idea of foundation skills, you should read this article from Scott. It will be in the description. And also the book Ultra Learning, if you actually want to learn things better and faster. And that's it for today. I see you guys in another video.